Hello friends, let's discuss current affairs and today's first questions about the centenary celebrations of SBI's main branch, which is at Horniman Circle. Horniman Circle. Now, this is a little about, identify the correct statements about the State Bank of India. Now, while these are all right, these are all basic, this data, like, SBI has over 22,500 branches, 63,000 automated teller machines, and while it says that it's India's only bank to be listed in the Fortune 500. Now, the thing here is that considering its size, obviously it would it can handle 20 crore UPI transactions per day. Now think about it, 20 crore UPI transactions would mean hundreds of crores of rupees going here and there. Now, it also means that the kind of infrastructure that SBI has is world class. Now, you need to understand, compare this with a lot of banks in the West, in fact, in the US as well as Germany, they barely can process 1 lakh transactions per day. Now, this is 20 crore transactions, digital transactions per day. Now, let me take you further. How did SBI emerge? SBI started way back in 1806. It started in 1806. Now, you may wonder how did it start in 1806. There was something called the Bank of Calcutta. The Bank of Calcutta. That is the year it was established. Bank of Calcutta was established in the year 1806. Now, this was renamed in 1809 as the Bank of Bengal. As the Bank of Bengal. Now, this was one of the 3 presidency banks of India. The 3 presidency banks were, apart from this, you could include the Presidency Bank of Madras and the Presidency Bank of Bombay. So there were 3 presidency banks. Now, all of these presidency banks, the Presidency Bank of Bengal, of Madras, of Bombay, all these were merged in 1921 into the Imperial Bank of India. The Imperial Bank of India. So, in 1921, all these 3 came together, were merged, into the Imperial Bank of India. And in 1955, Imperial Bank of India was nationalized. Till then, it was a private bank. It was nationalized and renamed the State Bank of India. So, that's the story. To repeat, 1806, the Bank of Calcutta came about and, renamed Bank of Bengal. A few years later, the Bank of Bengal being a presidency bank, it was one of the 3 presidency banks, the other 2 being a Presidency Bank of Madras and Presidency Bank of Bombay. All the 3 presidency banks were nationalized and, were merged into the Imperial Bank of India in 1921. About 34 years later, IBI, Imperial Bank of India, was nationalized and renamed State Bank of India. Today, as you see the data here, it's India's largest, bank, both public and private sector included. The head office is in Mumbai, and what you need to know here is that its chairperson is a guy called Challa Srinivasulu Setti. Challa Srinivasulu Chetty. Okay. So, a lot of stuff, dope about SBI here, my friends. So, there's hardly, anything that's not relevant here. So, you could just get a trajectory of the banks in India. Now, just to give you some dope here, ATM, automated teller machine. Back in the day when technology was not rampant as it is today, the guy in the bank who would tell details about our account, like the deposits, the withdrawals and all, was a guy who was named teller, T-E-L-L-E-R, teller. Here, the machine that does the function of it. So, it's an automated, it's programmed to operate as a teller. That's why automated teller machine. Okay. And India's first ATM came in 1987. 1987, I remember it was 4th September 1987. Why do I remember the specific date? Because that was a question I was asked in a quiz in my childhood. It was a tiebreaker question. Would you believe that? Fortunately, I had read that dope about banking. I've always been fascinated with banking, not with money, banking, because it reflects a lot about human nature. So, 1987, India's first ATM came about in Mumbai. It was, I think, Hong Kong and Shanghai Banking Corporation. Okay. So, from there, we could go to the next one. This is Victoria Zeer-Telvig, and she has been crowned Miss Universe. Miss Universe. Now, Miss Universe, I'll just stick to this particular part. I'm not going to talk about the first runner-up, second runner-up, because they don't matter. All that matters is who won the championship, who won the title, and this is Miss Universe. Okay, she's from Denmark, and this is Denmark's first win at the International Beauty Pageant. You know, Denmark, just to bring it, okay, by the way, where was the Miss Universe held? This year it was held in Mexico. It was held in the country of Mexico. The next year event is not yet decided. 3 countries are in play. One, I think, is Kazakhstan, which, as you know, one is Kyrgyzstan, the other is Kazakhstan. Then there is, somewhere in South America, Venezuela is also in contention, but then there are a lot of problems. These are decided on a lot of parameters, but most importantly, Denmark. Denmark is a tiny country, very tiny country in Europe, and you should know that it owns the largest island in the world, which, as you know, is Greenland. The largest island in the world is Greenland. When we say largest, how big is the island? Well, it is about 21 lakh square kilometers, 21 lakh square kilometers. 21 lakh square kilometers, ladies and gentlemen, will make it the largest island in the world and 2/3 of India's area. But what could be the population of this place? About 3 lakh, because it's pretty cold. It's pretty cold. Okay, so the largest country in the world, the largest island in the world is owned by a pretty small country, which is the constitutional monarchy. Okay. As per the latest government data, the panchayats of which state, collected the highest amount of own source revenue during 2017 to 22. In 5 years, Gujarat's panchayats collected 830 crore. Okay, number 2 was Kerala, 803 crore, and Andhra Pradesh was 792 crore. Now, you may wonder, what are these things about? What is own source revenue? Own source revenue is what a panchayat collects on its own. Okay, under Article 243H. Under Article 243H of the Constitution of India, panchayats are empowered to levy, either is impose taxes, duties, all kinds of things, cesses. See, some people differently, there is cess, duty, tariff, tax. These are all different terms. In different contexts, they acquire different meanings, but ultimately, it's all about parting with money. Okay, so tax, cess, duty, tariff is all one and the same in a very simple sense. Now, the Constitution of India under Article 243H of the Constitution of India, panchayats, under this article, panchayats can collect, levy, impose any sort of tax. This is in addition to the kinds of money it receives from as grants, as from the central government, from the state governments and all. So, Gujarat panchayats, the village panchayats, have collected a total of 830 crores, which is phenomenal, my friends. Huge money, my friends. So, the idea behind this own source revenue is to make the panchayats self-sufficient. This goes in with, with the goal of Mahatma Gandhi to make panchayats, free from control, outside control. That is Gram Swaraj. Gram Swaraj. Of course, it's not to say that they can't receive state government aid, grant, or central government grant. They do, but they are able to collect money on their own, which is a phenomenally good thing for the local people, actually. Yeah, it also shows that people are willing to pay tax to aid in their own development. Okay. By the way, under Panchayati system, Panchayati Raj, the first Panchayati Raj system was set up in 1959 in Rajasthan. Okay. 1959. See, these are all additional information. I did not even budget for the fact, for this thing, that I would discuss this during the course of my talk here. It just came to my mind now. So, that's how it's going. Now, let's go further. The DRDO, which is the Defense Research and Development Organization, Let me repeat. The Defense Research and Development Organization conducted a successful flight of India's first long-range hypersonic missile from Dr. Awul Pakir Jainul Abidin Abdul Kalam Island off the coast of Odisha recently. This island was in the past called the Wheeler Island. What was it called? The Wheeler Island. Now it's called Abdul Kalam Island, named after the great man. Now, which of the following statements is true in this context? All of them is true. The speed of sound is Mach 1, equated to Mach 1. Okay. Hypersonic weapons, hypersonic missiles can go beyond Mach 5, which would be about 6100 kilometers. Mach 5. So, of at least Mach 5 speeds, which is true. Now, the thing about hypersonic missiles is once launched, they can be made to change their trajectory. That is, normal ballistic missiles, once you launch them, basically they can, and the target is set, they go in that direction only. Whereas hypersonic missile can be made to change the trajectory. First, initially, it's, let's say it's northwest 200 kilometers. Then it can be changed with an onboard computer. It can be changed to go in some other direction. So that's what makes them very difficult to trace and very difficult to track, very difficult to, shot down. So this is the reason why Russia has been pretty, comfortable in the Ukraine conflict. But they recently launched one hypersonic missile called Oreshnik. Okay, Oreshnik. So Oreshnik, and look, India tested its first such missile, my friends, which is a very good thing. We are going there. Very few countries in the world have hypersonic missiles. Russia has, America has, China has, and India has. Think of it, my friends. Very few countries, even North Korea is boasting of one, so does Iran, but there is no concrete evidence of this. Okay, we are doing quite well as far as self-reliance is concerned. We are developing these missiles at home, that is indigenously. What was the theme of the 19th G20 summit at Rio de Janeiro held recently? This is the G20 logo, my friends. Okay, Brazil 2024. It was held in this place. As you know, this is the second largest city in Brazil. The largest would be Sao Paulo. Okay. Let me take Sao Paulo is named after Saint Paul. Saint Paul. Now you look at this. This was a theme: building a just world and a sustainable planet. Now this has caught the imagination of policymakers all over the world. Sustainability. Okay. Now the G20 comprises, my friends. G20 comprises. Let me use red here. The G20 comprises, 19 countries. 19 sovereign countries plus European Union plus African Union. No, you may wonder, there are 21 here. Exactly. But when you say European Union, there are 27 countries in the European Union. Okay. So 19 countries, sovereign countries like India, European Union plus African Union. African Union has 55 countries. So 55 countries plus 27 countries plus 19 countries. But it's a bit, when you say 27 countries in European Union and 19 countries here, please know that independent of European Union, Germany is a member of 19 here. France is a member. Okay. So there are some countries which would not come into the G20 on their own. Such countries in Europe are represented through the European Union, like Poland, Estonia, Lithuania. So these countries come into the G20 through the European Union. Okay. Next year, 2025 event will be held in South Africa. Johannesburg, South Africa. I think it's in Johannesburg. This is the spelling of Johannesburg, the largest city in South Africa. It's not one of the three capitals, which would be Cape Town, Pretoria, and Bloemfontein. This is the largest city in South Africa, but Johannesburg. 2025, South Africa, Johannesburg will host the G20 summit. Where? The 19th G20 summit ended with Brazil's President Lula da Silva handing over the presidency to President of South Africa. This is Cyril Ramaphosa. Cyril Ramaphosa is the President of South Africa. Okay. This is Turkey, the President of Turkey. The President of Turkey, Erdogan. Claudia Sheinbaum is the first woman President of Mexico in the last 200 years. In fact, the first woman President of Mexico. Prabowo Subianto is the President of Indonesia. Okay. What about Yoon Suk Yeol, South Korea? South Korea is the President of South Korea. Okay. I guess that's about it. See, Lula is a nickname of this guy. His name is Luis Inacio da Silva. But in most books, you will find Lula. Lula is the nickname of this chap. Luis Inacio Lula da Silva is the full name of this chap. I mean, the President of Brazil. Okay. Identify the correct statements regarding the recently concluded 19th edition of the G20 summit. All of them are right. The Global Alliance Against Hunger and Poverty was inaugurated. Yes, there is widespread poverty, widespread hunger, and this eradicating hunger eradicating poverty is a sustainable development goal, SDG. And the world over, countries are working hard to make sure that people are well fed, that they don't go hungry. Now, there is a global alliance against such things. Look at this. Creating a coalition for local regional production of vaccines and medicines. Now, why this is important? See, after the COVID pandemic happened, a lot of countries found that, the rich countries were not forthcoming in sharing their vaccines, especially the United States. It didn't come forward at all. But India did. India, indulged in vaccine diplomacy. We sent millions of doses, vaccine vials, VIALS, to different countries of the world, Dominican Republic, as far as the West Indies, to, Southeast Asia, to Africa, a lot of countries in Africa. Now, the thing here is, my friends, India is leading this charge against, of developing vaccines locally also, so that people could be, in a difficult situation like an occurrence of pandemic again, they would be able to rely on their own production, their own supply, my friends. So they wouldn't have to go to the West to, and that too in vain, because the West didn't help at all. Okay. So there are a lot of things here. I think there are 17 SDGs. Now they look at this. Proposed an 18th SDG to promote racial equality. Now, racial equality is an ongoing tussle, my friends. There has been a great move towards this in a lot of countries around the world. But unfortunately, if you look at the United States, you look at Europe, a lot of people are discriminated against simply because they belong to they have a different skin color. Okay, they belong to a different race. When countries like America talk about freedom, religious freedom in our country, ethnic freedom and all that, it's laughable, because till 1960s, America did not give blacks any rights. Okay, the blacks had different transportation. They had to travel by some other means of buses. Till 1990, South Africa had apartheid system, which was the racial discrimination. But in 1948 and 1991, South Africa had apartheid, which at its core was racial inequality. Okay, so the West it should not be teaching us, because we in India and elsewhere in large parts of Asia and all, we have been at the forefront of bringing in racial equality and, of course, religious equality. Okay, so a little about these things. In an inspiring initiative, Project Vinayak of the Border Roads Organization supported a vibrant art exhibition in Kargil to sort the talents of young artists of the region, from the region. The Kargil is a pretty, is on the border, what is called the LOC. What is it called? LOC, line of control. See, the line of control, I am just drawing. Okay, this is not a true map of Kashmir. This is how the line of control goes, and this is under Chinese control. This is Aksai Chin. Aksai Chin. This is the what is called Pakistan occupied J&K and Ladakh. So this is actually speaking, this part is Ladakh, and this will be J&K. But anyway, in 1948, when the war happened, when the Pakistani army came in the form of regulars, tribals and whatever, yeah, they occupied this part. They occupied this part. And 1948, when the ceasefire came into place, rather than push the intruders out, we were okay with the ceasefire. Now, this line where we stopped fighting on, on 1st January 1949, remember this, okay? When we stopped fighting here, this line came to be called the line of control. On this side of the line is India's control. On the other side of the line is the Pakistani control. So this is not the international border between India and Pakistan. This is the international boundary between India and Pakistan. But, that's how life is. And unfortunately, that when I say life is, because that's how the situation today is, that Pakistan has occupied a chunk of, Indian territory, my friends. I think we discussed this in the previous class, like CISF is headed by Rajwinder Singh, what's his name? Rajwinder Singh Bhatti. Rajwinder Singh Bhatti. So we discussed these in the previous class, full names and everything in the previous class. The names of these, the DGs of these organizations. Name the multilateral annual joint humanitarian assistance and disaster relief exercise connected with the Indian Army in Ahmedabad and Porbandar. This is Samyukt Vimochan. The Indian Army did this actually more or less. And as you know, the Indian Army primarily, see, the idea behind this is how to handle cyclones, how to protect people, property, air bases, military bases, naval bases and all. This was the major aim behind this. Humanitarian assistance and disaster relief. Because recently Gujarat was struck by a couple of cyclones and they were quite disastrous. Now thing here is, Indian Army is headed by General Upendra Dwivedi. Upendra Dwivedi. Okay. So I guess there's hardly anything else here to discuss. Who was the Australian Prime Minister with whom Prime Minister Narendra Modi held the second India-Australia annual summit on the sidelines of G20? This is Australia, you can see here, and Anthony Albanese is that's how you pronounce it. Anthony Albanese is the president, is the Prime Minister of Australia, and this is the capital of Australia, Canberra. Canberra. Now, you may wonder, why in the corner there, basically? See, this is Sydney here. This is Sydney, and this is Melbourne. This is Melbourne. I am putting in line here, Sydney, Melbourne. Okay. The thing is, when Australia became independent of British control, either city wanted to become the capital. But, because there is a serious competition, the government of Australia said, let's go equidistant. They went somewhere in the jungle, and Canberra was a planned city. It was in a small village converted into a capital of the country. This is the reason. Canberra is also called Bush City. Bush is jungle. Bush City, in the middle of the jungle basically. Okay. And you will find that Australia, 85% of Australia's 2.6 crore people. Australia's population is just 2.6 crore. And what could be the area? The area of this country is about 77 lakh square kilometers. Beat that. 77 lakh square kilometers. Ours is 33. I'm rounding them numbers. Ours is 33. This is 77. Our population is 142 crores. Their population is 2.6 crore. Okay. And of this 22.6 crore, about 85% live in urban areas. 85% live in urban areas. So, we recently had a test match, and now the next test match I think is in Perth. This is Perth. This is Perth. Okay. This is the island of Tasmania. So guys, this is where you have the Great Barrier Reef. The Great Barrier Reef. Lot of corals, thousands of, square kilometers of area, is what this Great Barrier Reef about. So I guess that's about it. Gillard, Abbott, Morrison, Turnbull, they're all former prime ministers of Australia. Not much to discuss there. Okay. Look at this beautiful map, isn't it? So see how down, that's New Zealand there. Yeah, this is New Zealand. New Zealand has more than 700 islands. 2 are large. This is North Island, South Island. Okay. Who topped Fortune's 2024 list of 100 most powerful people in business? That is Elon Musk, of course. He's the richest man in the world and also the most powerful chap. Elon Musk is the founder of a lot of companies. He is a co-founder of, Tesla. He came in later, but Tesla, then SpaceX, which is Space Exploration Corporation. He is chief of a company called the Boring Company. You may wonder, what is a boring company? It bores holes in the earth. Okay. Now, the idea behind this company, why Elon Musk started this company, was to, he says that there is a lot of traffic congestion in cities, urban cities, like, major cities like Los Angeles, Washington, Chicago, and all that. So he said, why don't we actually bore holes below the cities, and so the traffic could go that way. Actually, this is happening. This may sound science fiction kind of thing. It's actually, that is what this company is doing. Under the streets of Chicago and Los Angeles, the company is doing this precise thing, that is digging holes so that traffic would go through them. Yeah. So, of course, there are a lot of other companies he is the chief of. Neuralink which is, focused on improving brain health and longevity and everything. A lot of things, my friends. Okay. And Jensen Huang, see, in the order in which these are mentioned, these are the 5 most powerful people in the world, business people in the world. Elon Musk, Jensen Huang is the co-founder and CEO of NVIDIA, chip maker NVIDIA. Satya Nadella is the CEO of Microsoft, chairperson and CEO of Microsoft, 3rd most powerful person in the world. Warren Buffett is also, and a great investor, stock investor. He is the chairperson of a company called Berkshire Hathaway. Berkshire Hathaway owns a lot of other companies. It owns about, 10% of Coca-Cola company, P&G and all. Oh, plenty. American Express. They own substantial shares in all of them. Jamie Dimon. This guy is the world's most powerful finance man. And this guy is a chief of JP Morgan. JP Morgan. What about India? Well, the highest ranked Indian is in the 12th place, Mukesh Dhirubhai Ambani. Mukesh Dhirubhai Ambani is the highest ranked Indian and he is ranked 12th globally, my friends. 12th globally. I think this should be fine. Name the YouTuber and boxer who beat the legendary Mike Tyson. This is Jake Paul. I watched the fight. It wasn't a great fight, and you would agree with that. This guy is, I think, 27 years old, and that fellow is about 58 years old. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. But then, these kinds of fights are all about making money. It's all about making money, nothing more than that. Even, when he lost Mike Tyson, he earned millions of dollars. That's all about it, my friends. Yeah. Which of the following forces is part of the recently concluded exercise named Purvi Prahar in Arunachal Pradesh? Where exactly in Arunachal Pradesh? In a place called Mechuka. Mechuka, a place in Arunachal Pradesh. And, all the 3 services came together. A while ago, we mentioned the Chief of the Indian Army, General Upendra Dwivedi, Indian Navy, Admiral Dinesh Tripathi. Indian Air Force is headed by Air Chief Marshal Amanpreet Singh. Amanpreet Singh. Is it Amar or Aman? I am not very comfortable with this. I think it's Amarpreet Singh. Amarpreet Singh, not Aman. Amarpreet Singh. Amarpreet Singh. So all have been mentioned here. All defense chiefs. Where? Which city hosted the third edition of the Global Freight Summit? Dubai. Now this map should tell you that the United Arab Emirates is a tiny country. It's here basically. Okay, it's a very tiny country, and this country comprises 7 emirates. What are they? 7. This is one, Abu Dhabi. Fair? Whose capital is Abu Dhabi. Then Dubai is another. 2, 3, Sharjah. 4, here you see, yeah, Ajman. 5, Al Quwain. This one. 5. 6, Fujairah. 7, Ras Al Khaimah. Okay. So this is how it is. So 7 emirates came together to form one country, and consequently United Arab Emirates. Fair? This is the capital. And you see it's pretty close to Qatar. Pretty close to Qatar. And you would find that there is a small portion here. This is Oman. And this is a small portion of the, the peninsula here, which is owned by Oman. It's also owned by Oman. So next time someone says United Arab Emirates, you would think of some of these places, if not all. You would know Abu Dhabi, you would know Dubai, you would know Sharjah, you would know, Fujairah. 2 more you could add. One is Ras Al Khaimah and Al Quwain. Al Quwain. Okay. So Al Quwain. And this is the capital of Egypt. You know Egypt. Paris, France, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, which is the neighbor of UAE. Delhi you would know. Dubai is not the capital of the United Arab Emirates. Abu Dhabi is the capital of this one. Abu Dhabi is the capital of, the United Arab Emirates. Okay, yeah. Identify the correct statements regarding the GSAT-20 satellite that was launched successfully. GSAT stands for geosynchronous. Geosynchronous. Okay, geosynchronous satellites basically, if there is a Earth, and the satellite is here, it's always wired to this. So the way the Earth goes, the satellite also, the way the Earth revolves, the satellite also goes with that. So it's in sync with the point on Earth. That's why it's called geosynchronous. Geo means Earth. Now, this is a communication satellite. This is an indigenous, India-made, homemade communication satellite. And this is also called, this particular one, GSAT-20 was also called CMS-03. CMS-03. This satellite is owned by New Space, one word, India Limited. New Space India Limited. Okay, this is the Government of India Corporation, and it's all headed by, the chief is Radha Krishna Durairaj. Radha Krishna Durairaj is the the chairperson of New Space India Limited. Now, one more thing you need to know is that because this was extremely heavy and our rockets are not equipped to carry such heavy stuff into satellites into space. So what we did was we gave the contract to SpaceX. SpaceX, which earlier I had told you was started by Elon Musk. It's a private space corporation. This company owns a rocket called Falcon 9. It's considered the world's heaviest rocket in the private sector. Falcon 9 rocket carried this G20 satellite into space. It's basically a delivery mechanism. So we pay paisa to SpaceX for these services. That's how it works. Okay. Dash won the women's title at the 2024 Tata Steel Chess India Blitz. This is Blitz. This is Blitz. And Blitz was won by Katerina Lagno. This is Katerina. Now, Alexandra Goreshkina won, this is Goreshkina, she won the rapid event. So there were two, Tata Steel Chess India Blitz women's title was won by Lagno, while the women's rapid title was won by Goryashkina. Now one more thing, this is women's. What about men's? Both the rapid and the blitz titles were won by the same guy, Magnus Carlsen of Norway, world number 1 of Norway. Okay, I think that's about it. Let's go past this. Which government department has funded 28 projects under the Tomato Grant Challenge aimed at reducing tomato loss and adding value to the crop? Now, the Department of Consumer Affairs. Why tomato? See, tomato is 95% water, and it rots very easily. Unless it's stored in a cold storage facility under the right conditions, it would go bad pretty soon. Okay, and you would have found this at home as well. Tomato is all, little pulp, but most of water. And this is also one of the reasons why a lot of countries which are water deficient should not be growing tomatoes. And I'm not kidding, it's true, my friends. Countries that grow tomatoes, countries that are water deficient, grow tomatoes and export them, are actually exporting their water. Because 95% of tomato is water. And one more thing, the top 3 producers of tomato are China, number 1, tomato producer, number 2, India, and number 3, Turkey. So China, India, Turkey are the top 3 producers of tomato. And where does tomato come from? Tomato comes from Mexico. It comes from Mexico. You know what? Tomato is not a vegetable. Technically, it's a fruit. I'm telling you the truth, my friends. A scientific fact, that tomato is not a vegetable. It's a fruit. But the thing here is, you should be very careful with serving tomatoes. Knowledge is knowing. Knowledge is knowing that tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is knowing that you should not put tomato in a fruit salad. Okay, yeah, that's how it is, my friends. Which African country has declared food-borne illnesses a national disaster following a recent surge in food poisoning cases that left dozens of children, dead? That's because South Africa has pretty lax food laws. Okay, they say that we don't have enough, food inspectors, and we don't have the stringent norms, stringent law that could, dissuade, deter, discourage food adulterers, and see, this is an ongoing problem around the world. This kind of stuff is there across India as well. We find every day these Insta reels that show Agra ka peta or some kulfi being made in very, very unsanitary conditions. But then that's how it is, my friends. Unless people raise their ruckus, unless people raise their voice, things remain where they are. Okay, so that's a bit about it. And Ethiopia is a country in Africa which is said to be the birthplace of coffee. Now, there is a dispute regarding this. Some say it was Saudi Arabia, some say it was Yemen, some say it's Ethiopia. I'll stick to something simple, sipping coffee. Okay, so former Labour leader and John Prescott died recently. He was the Deputy Prime Minister of the UK. Deputy Prime Minister of the UK. UK's Prime Minister now is, Keir Starmer. Keir Starmer. And Canada, what's this guy's name? Jacques Trudeau. Yeah, Trudeau. Justin Trudeau, sorry, not Jacques Trudeau. Justin Trudeau. France, the president is Emmanuel Macron. But if you're looking at the prime minister, it is Michel Barnier. Italy, Giorgia Meloni. Giorgia Meloni. Coming to Denmark, the prime minister, constitutional monarchy. So they have a monarch as the head of the state, but the prime minister is what's her name? Denmark, Fredriksson, Margaret Fredriksson. Okay, Fredriksson. The spelling is right. So, Prime Minister Modi has proposed 7 key pillars to the strengthen ties with the CARICOM, which is the Caribbean community. Caribbean community. This has 15 countries. Okay, it was started in 1973. All these island countries like Bahamas, you have Dominican Republic, you have Antigua and Barbuda, all Grenada, St. Kitts and Nevis, all these kinds of countries. So, there is an issue. And by the way, its headquarters are in a place called Georgetown. Where is it? Georgetown, which, as you know, is the capital of Guyana. Okay. So he gave this title, CARICOM. These are the 7 goals, my friends. Capacity building, agriculture, food security. We are deepening our relationship, especially with the small countries around the world, in Africa, in Asia, and in the West Indies, South America, and all these places, because we need to engage. We need to have them on our right side when it matters a lot, especially in the UN. At UN specialized agencies, when we nominate our fellows to head them, and we can count on their votes. African Union has 55 members. European Union has 27 members. This has 15. ASEAN has 10. ASEAN is Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Association of Southeast Asian Nations, 10. G7, of course, group of 7. So it would be 7. Yeah. Just to tell you, ASEAN, the head office is in Jakarta. Where is this? Jakarta, the capital of Indonesia. This is Brussels. G7 doesn't have any capital, any secretariat. African Union, main is Addis Ababa. Addis Ababa, which, as you know, is the capital of Ethiopia. Name the citizen centralized platform or portal launched by the Government of India or central government for managing groundwater withdrawal permits. It's Bhuneer will serve as a one-stop platform of managing and regulating groundwater resources aimed at ensuring transparency, efficiency, and sustainability in groundwater. See, groundwater is falling. The level of groundwater is falling. So there is huge depletion of groundwater resources, and that's also leading to water scarcity around the country. So the Government of India is seized of the matter, and they are trying to push for a lot of schemes and methods to prop up groundwater. Okay, this is one of them. Bhuneer. Bhu, as you know, is earth, Neer is water. Which bank received approval from the RBI to enter into insurance business through a joint venture with the Generali Group? We discussed this in the previous class. Is the Central Bank of India, headed by Mattam Venkata Rao. Mattam, M-A-T-M, Mattam Venkata Rao. And Central Bank of India will have stake. They are purchasing shares in both the life insurance and the non-life insurance businesses of Generali Group. Okay, so this is insurance, life insurance. Sorry, this is general insurance, and this is life insurance. Okay. I guess Union Bank of India is headed by A. Manimekalai. Okay. State Bank of India, Challa Srinivasulu Shetty. Canara Bank, of course, K. Satyanarayana Raju. K. Satyanarayana Raju. Punjab National Bank is headed by Atul Kumar Goyal. Atul Kumar Goyal. Viksit Bharat initiative for student, innovation and outreach network. It's a portal launched recently, is aimed at nurturing, education, skill development and innovation. This is very important because the goal is to make India a developed country by 2047, which will be the 100th anniversary of our independence from British control. Okay, so the Prime Minister, has come up with all these things. The government of India has come up with all of these things to push, our youth towards, of course, innovation, to come up with ideas that would help the country build a better future for our society. Which state will host the Khelo India Youth Games and Para Games in April 2025? Bihar. Bihar. The thing here is that Bihar has not had these games ever, Khelo India. And these games are headed by the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. Okay, Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. The minister is a guy called Mansukh Mandavia. Yeah, I think, that's a game. He is a former chemicals and fertilizers minister, Mansukh Mandavia. Okay. Name the Indian Army chief who was recently conferred with the honorary general rank of by the Nepali Army, General Upendra Dwivedi. I think we mentioned this gentleman's name, the general's name a while ago. Admiral Dinesh Tripathi and Air Chief Marshal. Yeah, it is Amar, not Aman. Yeah. Anil Chauhan is Chief of Defence Staff, the top guy in the defence forces. So, and Nepali Army has had a deep relationship, a strategic relationship with the Indian Army for a long time. A lot of Gorkhas, form a part of the Indian Army as well. And, most Gorkhas come from, Nepal, of course, from other parts of India as well. So, that's about it. Let's clear this and go to the next one. That's all about, that's all from me, Bharat Jain, and have a lot of fun. Stay curious. Thank you for being here. Thank you.